How's it going, people? What's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Me and Judges are back on Lee Judges TV to talk all things Arsenal. And of course, it's an unbelievable way to win a game of football. If you're there, it's even better. Lucky Judges. I didn't get to go, but I must say, watched it with the parents, and it was an unbelievable game of football that saw Sheffield United fans leaving after 15 minutes. I mean, I thought it was bad West Ham fans leaving at half time, but I did make the boys laugh on my channel by saying, last time Arsenal scored 6 goals, when was that, boys? Must have been 6 years ago, wasn't it? No, 3 weeks ago was the answer. It's crazy. It's mad to think, Lee, that we are here bantering people now and giving it. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to support times to support Arsenal at the moment, Judges.
Yeah, listen, not everybody's happy. Oh, Hector there, he's had a glass of wine, hasn't he? Hector the Heckler. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so
well, let's just read this out.
Come on. Before you give it, like, you know, who's your support, Hector? You know what I mean? Come on, I'd like to know who you support, like, you know.
Well, I'd be amazed if it is Arsenal, but you never know with this fan base at times. But best in the world, lost 1-0 to Porto. Hold your horses, lad. You beat Sheffield. In 2 weeks, it's make or break. Don't do the hype jobs, BS, and then fall flat on your face. It's 3 seasons in a row. Come on. Listen, he's got some good points there. I've got some points there, but time to calm down a bit yourself as well, bro. We're not going way over the top. These are questions, by the way. Arsenal best in the world right now to watch? Question. Beat Brentford and City and we're favourites? Question. That's what we're going to be discussing, man. So make sure you do me a favour, people, and smash a like on this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And make sure that you put your questions in. Any questions that go in and super chats that go in, me and Lee will answer. Make sure you put a Q at the front of it so we know it's a question. And if you do a super chat, of course, it'll be read out and it will go to the front of the queue. And the only other thing to talk about is this behind me. Make sure you go over to Russell Hogg Photography on Instagram and DM him and tell him you're a Gooner that Dan and Lee sent you, because he's giving these out to Gooners at a very good price and they're absolutely beautiful. He's got them on all sorts of colours. So make sure that you do that as well, please, people. Lee, what a game of football.
Well, yeah, what a game. What a game. It is a very, very good day all round for me. I'm not going to lie. You know, I mean, apart from one thing is that I arrived in Sheffield, it started raining, and I left Sheffield and it stopped raining. That was the only thing really, like, you know. So, but other than that, and listen, I'm listening to all what's going on at the moment, and it just cements and confirms, you know, that there's a lot of Arsenal haters out there, like, you know, from the media and everything. And I'll explain why. The first thing everybody turns around and says is how poor Sheffield United are, right? How poor Sheffield United are. Not rocket science, they're bottom of the league. Everybody knew that before the game kicked off. Let's be honest, didn't they? Everybody knew it, you know what I mean? They're bottom of the league. Oh, but you might slip up there. It's a banana skin I was hearing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Monday night. Why are the cameras there? Like, they're not there to see Arsenal demolish Sheffield United. They're there because they might think that there's something like a shock on or a poor performance or something like that. Then when you beat them 5 or 6-0, wow, what do you expect? You know what I mean? That's the worst team I've ever seen. Like, you know, they're really bad, really this, really bad. Nothing about some of the goals that we scored were really, really good. Some of the movement and everything. So I get that. And then I hear, Foden, the best player in the Premier League at this moment, like, you know. Yeah. Fantastic against Bournemouth, wasn't he? He struggled 1-0. Brentford struggled 1-0. Yeah. We're beating teams 5, 6, 7, 6-0, 6-0, 5-0. Not one mention of Odegaard or being the best player in the league at the moment. Saka being the best player in the moment. Declan Rice being the best player. Oh, no. Oh, Willie Foden up there in Manchester, like, you know, I mean, playing against a Man United side that, you know, very good Man United side, aren't they? And then all of a sudden, I don't hear everybody going, it's the worst Man United team I've seen for a very, very long while. It's, how good Manchester City were. And I think, wow, yeah, I get that. Like,
let them do it, man. Let them do it.
Yeah, let them do it, like, you know. And so I'm enjoying everything at the moment, like, you know. Like, did I think we'd win 5-6-0? I hope we would. I think we would, no. But I don't remember teams in their pomp going to and I brought this up with the great Arsenal team as well, winning 5-0 away and then 6-0 away, and you know, and then the audacity on I had to turn it off, you know what I mean, TalkSport. And I love Darren Bent, don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of time for him. But Andy Goldstein, you know,
Oh, he's a muppet.
he's a bit of man. He's gone, yeah, you've got all these records. He's got all these records, he says. You know what I mean? But look at your run of teams. And he wrote him Crystal Palace, Liverpool, West Ham, Burnley, and Sheffield United. No real tough games in there, is there? And I looked at it and I went, no. This is Liverpool, the team that everybody thinks going to win the league. You know what I mean? That we smashed 3-1. And also West Ham 6-0, currently 7th in the league.
Newcastle.
Okay, I'll give you the other 3. You know what I mean? Like
Newcastle.
And Newcastle was the other one. Yeah. Crap Newcastle.
Listen, I understand why they're doing it, Lee, right?
I understand why they're doing it.
They're worried, mate. This is the thing. Now, I'm not getting big-headed saying we're going to win the league, but I think it's great because this is a team that are going to do nothing this year, that are going to win nothing, that Arteta's not good enough, can't get across the line. Havertz, what a joke. Raya in goal, it's funny. This is a team that everyone's going to be laughing at. Silence for weeks. In 2024, silence. No one's talking about Raya. No one's talking about Havertz. No one's talking about Arteta. No one's talking about Saka anymore. No one's saying Martinelli's crap. No one's asking where Ødegaard is. Silence. No one's talking about the partnership with Gabriel and Saliba. It's all the other players. Isn't Harry Kane doing well over in Bayern Munich in Germany? Isn't Harry Kane not even in our league? Oh, Salah might be back soon. They're bored. They don't want to talk about Arsenal. They just want to ignore us. Good. I hope they ignore us. I see Trent Alexander-Arnold do one of the best things today. He came out and said, our trophies mean more because we earned them and Man City bought them. Brilliant. Let them fucking go at each other and just keep us down here. Let them go at each other. I love it. That is, for me, what I want to see happen. Now, this doesn't mean I still don't think we're going to win the league, by the way, and I still don't think we're going to win the Champions League. And that can be pessimistic if you want or negative if you want. But I've always been realistic. I've seen nothing to change my opinion so far. But what I have done is I've changed my opinion on what I've seen from this current Arsenal side. I don't know what we're going to do at the end of May. I'll discuss that at the end of May. But what I'm seeing right now is us demolish teams. And nobody wants to talk about it. And I had a group chat, which you'll know. You know all these lads very, very well. Silent for the whole of that Monday night. And to be fair to them, some of them did. I mean, LB's a Man City fan. He went, I think you'll win 6-0. And he smiled. And he was right. And it was before kickoff. But he was saying that because he was like, don't lose, mate. I think you'll win 6-0. That's how confident I am of you. So Lawless thought it'd be a draw, by the way. I must add that in there. Oh, I think you'll draw. This will be a slip-up, he said, against Sheffield United.
Weird, all about slip-ups.
Yeah, well, he knows about slip-ups, that's for sure.
He's had more slip-ups than Steven Gerrard on a good night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's facts, mate. But my point is, Lee, people hate it. They absolutely hate it. Don't give them no credit. It's only Sheffield United. It's only Palace. It's only Burnley. They've lost to Porto, remember? Because that's what people are talking about, by the way. People aren't talking about Arsenal being unbeaten in the Premier League. What have Arsenal been like in 2024? Yeah, not bad. Porto was crap, though, wasn't it? Yeah. They always pick out the negative line, you know? Like, they never ever say, God, you know what? I know you slipped up at Porto, but my God, have you been smashing teams? I ain't heard that once. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
And that's why, honestly, we have got to beat Porto. Because I think if we, you know, like people go, oh, yeah,
win all our games in March if we want to shut people up. That's
we have to beat Porto, like, you know what I mean? It's a massive sign. But I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this tomorrow. Like, we don't know if the Tottenham boys will come on. Like, they got a little bit quiet, like, since. And Sean made a great point a few weeks ago when he turned around and we was saying about, you know, what Tottenham players are getting Arsenal, and he went, on current form, you know, you'd have to say, like, you know, one of the Spurs players gets in and this Spurs player gets in. We're back to where we were again. Like, you know, not one of them gets into the Arsenal team now, like, you know, on current form or anything. You know what I mean? That is where we are at this moment in time. Breathtaking at this moment in time. It's not just our forward play, Dan. It's a way we're defending as well. Like, you know, they didn't, you know, like, we was actually talking at half time. He probably should bring Ramsdale on there to give him some minutes before he plays on Saturday. That was a lot of talking in the terraces at half time. You know what I mean?
Well, we saw Cedric again. When you see Cedric, it's a good day at Arsenal.
Well, Cedric, and he come on and done all right. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, it's not that. It's just when you see him, you know you must be winning by 4 or 5.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's. Listen, I'm going to be really honest. I don't know how other people feel, but I'll tell you how I honestly feel. I finished the game on Saturday against Newcastle, and I've been confident that we'd win 2-3, 4-0 up until game day. And then travelling up there, the nerves get in there, like, oh, you know, what is saying? Go, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, then after 15 minutes, I'm going, what was I worried about? What the hell was I worried about? Like, you know, and I just enjoy the game. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, you know, enjoy the game on Saturday. You know, there's something in the back of my head. Oh, we might slip up on this one because this game on Saturday is massive, by the way. This game, because if we don't win that game, that means that game on Sunday means nothing to us as much. Well, it does, but not as much. But if we win that game on Saturday and we win big, that game on Sunday is how can I say it? A no-lose situation for us. You know what I mean? And I always ask the question. I'm going to ask it now for everybody to ask this question. This is a question from the judge. I'm putting it in queue before we go. Right? Who do we want to win on Sunday? Now, I know everybody's going to turn around and say the draw. The draw's out of the equation, right? It's not going to be a draw. Just saying that. So, who do you want to win on Sunday?
Put it in the chat, man.
Put it in the chat. Who do you want to win?
I'll tell you what, I'll do a poll as well, so that'll be easier. I'm going to say it. I want Liverpool to win.
Right.
What about you, Lee?
I'm going Man City.
Okay,
and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because if Liverpool win every single game and Arsenal win every single game, Liverpool win the league. All right? Yeah, we can't stop them. We can't stop them. But we can stop Man City. We can go to Man City and get something and beat them. I want it in our hands, Dan, as quickly as possible. Now, a draw puts that in there. Look, SMG, do you not listen to what I just said? You can't put a draw down, like, you know. You're now banned for 5 minutes. With a cup of coffee, you're not allowed to listen for 5 minutes. Right. No, yeah,
everybody knows we want a draw, guys, but we're asking.
Yeah, we look, listen. A draw puts it in our hands. A Manchester City win puts it in our hands. A Liverpool win doesn't put it in our hands. So that is why I say, I know what everybody's going to say. I know what you're saying when you say Liverpool. I get that because you might think Liverpool. But if we keep winning and winning and winning and they keep winning and winning, it's a really difficult one to say, really, like, you know. So
I will say this. The reason I understand your logic about Liverpool is not everything you've said. There's one more thing. They've got the easier fixtures, Liverpool. I think. Manchester City, Liverpool have got 2 hard games after Man City. Villa at Villa Park and Spurs at Anfield. That's it. I don't think that there will be any other games that I look at Liverpool and go, I can't see them winning that one, man. Whereas City, to be fair to them, they've got obviously Liverpool, they've got Arsenal, they've got Spurs, and they've got to go at Spurs, and they never do well there. And they never will. Let's be real, they ain't really done well at their ground. I think they scored 1 goal. That was this season in the FA Cup. So, yeah, man, I can see what you're saying. But I've seen Liverpool slip up. I ain't seen Man City slip up too much, man. Which is why I think I'm going to have to still stick with Liverpool. I see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see both arguments. I see Turkish in there saying Liverpool. I see.
Big up Turkish, man. Long time, bro. Hope you're well, man. Cheers for tuning in.
There was someone else who's just put a very good point on there. Don, if City wins this, the momentum becomes massive for them. I get that. More chance of more. Adam, that's a good one. There's more chance of Liverpool dropping points. So yeah.
Thing is, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. Honestly, this is incredible.
I think Liverpool are more vulnerable, aren't they?
I think the only reason they are, I agree with that, if their players are still out. Because their players are coming back. So, like, people are like, oh, they've got no Alisson, Trent, Salah, Jota. But, like, Salah's now back in training. Alisson, I believe, next week. I think Trent's only a couple of weeks away. So, they're going to get their players back pretty soon. I just think they'll run of games, Liverpool. Like, LB was talking to me, he's a City fan, and he just said, we have to beat Liverpool because I don't see him losing another game. And I was just like, really? And I looked at the games and I thought, do you know what? Yeah. I mean, unless you think Fulham might do something, I don't, against Liverpool, or You know, honestly, I look at them and I think, yeah, Villa away and Spurs at home. Other than that, Liverpool are pretty home and dry in most of the others. Now, I understand it's the Premier League, anything can happen. We could slip up against bloody Bournemouth at home now in Arsenal, you know what I'm saying? Man City could do the same thing. Liverpool could do the same thing. But if I was to look at it realistically, who's got the easiest running? It is Liverpool, man. It is Liverpool. They got the easier of the of the three teams. Liverpool have done a lot of hard games already. They've only lost to us and to Tottenham, which was VAR. That's all they've done all season. So I don't know, man. I think people are looking over Liverpool and going, "Don't worry about them. They'll drop points. Let them lose this one." Man City, do you know what I mean? Like I think Liverpool are gonna. I think Liverpool are gonna drop points. I don't think Liverpool are gonna drop many points. Is my point.
Yeah, and do you know another thing? Like, I've seen a few people in the chat like Spurs ain't going to do nothing for Liverpool and all that. Now the scenario is with Spurs at this moment in time. Fifth's not good enough for Champions League football unless Arsenal gets to the final of Champions League. And I think one of the Europa League teams has got to get to the final as well. Not necessarily win it. I was listening to this on TalkSport the other day. So to get the points up. So we're behind on that front. So Spurs are not going to they're not going to go, all right, you know, these are professional footballers, not, you know, the clubs. We're not talking about fans. They're not going to go, oh, we're going to go to Liverpool and roll over and die. And we're going to go, when Man City come to us, we're going to roll over and die. Because if they do lose those two games, the chances are they're not going to get top four. So they've got to get some results themselves. So this is why it's very important that, you know, like Villa keep going as well, because Aston Villa have got Manchester City as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So they've already beaten Manchester City, by the way, this season. So you want to keep these teams involved as well, like, you know. So,
well, as it stands, mate, 71% agree with you. They want Man City to win. 29% want Liverpool. I thought it'd be closer than that, but fair play.
Yeah,
fair play. I mean, a lot of people they're liking what you're saying, Lee, and they're agreeing with you. Listen, do you know what? Let me have. I should have said this first, right? I don't actually care as long as we beat Brentford.
exactly that. You know, that's we beat Brentford. That is the
most important.
That is the most important thing. We have to go to Brentford at home at the Emirates and win that. Comfortably. If we win that comfortably, like 2 or 3-0, that's another 3 on the goal average. Like, all of a sudden the goal average is a point for us, you know what I mean? Like, because to make up 10, 50, you know, let's talk dream stuff. If Arsenal can get 5 against Brentford, that would be the goal average done and dusted, like, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we're going to, but whatever happens, I'm not even worried about that game at the moment. We have to beat Brentford. It's as simple as that. Like, you know, we have to beat Brentford going into the Porto game as well, because I think momentum's a great thing. If we don't win against Brentford and then Porto becomes even more of a pressure cooker game and all that, like, we must go in these games. And the difference for me to last season is that we was like drawing at Southampton before we was going to the Etihad. Now we got to go to the, you know, like, if we can go to the Etihad with a say just 2-0, just put it as a 2-0, like, all of a sudden 2-0, 5-0, 6-0. We're really in the momentum to go and do something, like, you know. And where I think it was no pressure on Manchester, it was pressure on Manchester City, but, you know, like, they knew that they had us by the old jingly bells. They knew that they had us, like, you know what I mean, right? They don't this time around. They don't know what, you know what I mean? So there'll be a little bit of pressure on if we go to them in, you know, listen, Pep would be saying to them, like, you know, let's smash them out of the ballpark and you know, put them to the sword. They'd be saying that against Liverpool as well. But if we can go there and get such, imagine if we go there and beat them, then it's definitely game on, Dan, like, you know what I mean? Definitely game on, like, you know. So, but listen, if Liverpool beat Manchester City and then we beat Manchester City, you know, it's all in Liverpool's favour still. So it's a difficult one. I'm in too much. Like, you know, what will be in that game, I suppose. as long as we win our game, and at the end of it, we're playing so well at the moment. You know, so many players playing so well. You know, even when Saka come off at half time, no, you know what. I didn't know until after the game that he was ill, Dan. But once he was, like I said, it was ill, like be all right. There was no drop off because he come off and everything like that.
No.
It was. I know that there was a drop off with so many changes because I think like they made 5 as well as us. But some of the performances there and the players are back now to where they were last season. And I'm going to mention a couple of them that are back to. Ben White is back to where he was last season.
Incredible.
Now, they're talking about Brentofrd getting into the international squad this week, like, you know what I mean? Now, I know that he's not going to go to the international squad, like, but who is better than him at right back at this moment in time? Trippier's injured, by the way. He's not going to be available, so he's gone. So they've got Walker.
Yeah. He ain't getting in, Lee. Well, this ain't a Ben White doing good enough thing. What's his name? Gareth Southgate does not like Ben White. They've fallen out. Ben White don't want to go. He's not bothered. He don't want to play with Gareth Southgate. When Southgate goes, Ben White will be in the squad 100%.
And rightly so, because I've watched his last couple of performances. He's been unreal.
He has. Yes. And you know what? Him inverting has allowed for Kivior to play well too.
Oh, Kivio's. I think listen, he's got better and better as he's gone on. He's got a little bit of confidence now, and he's creating chances as well. The 2 central defenders are fantastic. Jorginho, by the way, his first half performance was class as well. Declan Rice is like...
that was the one for me. Just in that 8, I don't ever want to see him as a 6 again. Unbelievable, mate.
See his movement and all that, like.
Now, this is a role incredible.
That he's learning a little bit. If you be really honest, he's.
But that was always a plan, Lee.
I think it was always a plan.
Yeah.
Because what it does is he's got the energies levels and the way he's moving about and is unbelievable. And I tell you what, he's not a bad finisher. You know what I mean? He can finish as well, like, you know. So he's adding that to his game. Thought he was fantastic. Martinelli again back to his best. Without
that was probably my favourite goal, the Havertz goal, because Martinelli, he actually got swung around in the end. Right? But he kept going. The tenacity of the lad is just fantastic. And then the Havertz finish was absolutely superb. Who we need to mention, by the way, because he was really good again the other night and has been for a few, this year, mate, if I'm honest. I know people say this year and think it's a season. I'm talking about from January to March. I think Havertz has been a really good signing for Arsenal. If you talk about Havertz between August and like November, no, he weren't a good signing for Arsenal. But I wanted him to go forward, man. And now he is. He's bloody good, man. He's bloody good at the moment.
And this is another thing that annoys me about, like, people come up to people like I know Turkish listening and people come up to him and say, "Oh, but you don't rate Havertz. Oh, you don't do this. You don't do this." You can change your mind on a player. That's what's fantastic.
You're not allowed to do that, mate. You're going to flip-flop.
I had one of my mates come up to me, like, I said, "Oh, you're enjoying it at the moment, like, you know what I mean?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, 2.5 years ago, you wanted him out. You know what I mean? I said, 2.5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, football changes. Do you know what? There's a saying in football, right? That a week in football is a long time. You know what I mean? Well, I think 2.5 years is a long time as well. Like, you know what I mean? If I'll be honest, and you'll know if Arsenal don't win the league this season. I'm not in the camp of Arteta out neither. I think that Arsenal, at this moment in time, are a very, very good side, but there may be, just maybe, there might be 1 or 2 teams better than us, you know what I mean? Which is,
And do you know what, Lee? I'm going to take some questions in a minute because there are people asking questions. I don't want people to forget that we aren't doing that tonight because we are going to. But I'll say this last year, right? It doesn't actually matter. Like, if let's say we get to the end of May and we've won the league, everyone's happy, right? But if we don't get to that stage where we won a Champions League or a league title, and somebody says to you, "I still want to keep Arteta though," and then the other bloke goes, "You're joking, bloody geezer ain't won us something again, get him gone." Who's right and who's wrong? There ain't no. It's an opinion. Like, so if 1 minute you think, "I'm really enjoying this football," and the next you think, "Bloody hell, but it ain't won us nothing again, man. I'm starting to question whether this guy can actually get us across the line." Both of those things are actually factually true. He hasn't got us across the line. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. And he's got us very close. That's also a fact. So I don't really care about this. Some people get really on their high horse about it. Like, you said you wanted him gone in 2020. What are you talking about now? Oh my God, like, calm down, bro. That was 4 years ago. And that's what you get. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm on the other side of that. I'm still not 100% convinced, even now, that we've got the right guy to go and take us to titles. And people might think that's ludicrous. What are you watching then? You're watching fives and sixes going. You still don't believe? But fives and sixes doesn't make me do that, Lee. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully it will at the end of May. If it does, hold my hands up and say, do you know what? I mean, he's got us challenging, but now he's actually got us across the line. What can the next
Yeah.
stage do? That's what I want to be saying at the end of May. And apparently, if you do that, Lee Judges is a flip-flop because back in 2020, he said he weren't sure about him. Dan Potts last month said, tell you what, Arteta's doing a bit better. Flip-flop, get him out of the club, toxic, negative, get him gone. He doesn't deserve to be celebrating in May. What the hell's going on with this fan base? Just watch it and enjoy it together, man. We're playing brilliant at the moment. What is it all about, man? It is bizarre.
And listen, you're dead right, and this is where you should be. Just enjoy what you're doing at the moment. Like,
Of course, man.
listen, it's a joy to go and watch. You know what I mean? Arsenal winning 6-0. Come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, as you said, 3 weeks before that, they won 6-0 again, 5-0. Their last 3 games have won 6-0, 5-0, 6-0. You know what I mean? Like, just enjoy it. And
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying watching the Arsenal at the minute. And the football,
everyone is. There's nobody that can come on and go, yeah, it's just it's like fives and sixes are going in, but it's just not for me, really. Everyone's
Yeah.
loving it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's great. The atmosphere in the ground at home and away at the minute is unbelievable. You know, before the game on Monday night, it's a Monday night, hard to get up to Sheffield and back. You've done it yourself before. Singing all in below and by the bar and all that, like all feel good factor. It's amazing what winning can do, Dan. It's amazing what winning can do.
winning cure. I remember Kevin Campbell, bless him. Big up to Kev. I know he's getting well, which is great to see. I spoke to him yesterday. And spoke to him yesterday, and he is getting a little bit better slowly but surely. So that's all good to hear. But he said it, didn't he? Winning cures all. And he's absolutely right, man. He's absolutely right. Listen, let's get these questions up. This one's a super chat, so of course it jumps to the front of the queue, which is from Brian, who says, where do you see Havertz's role long term, especially after we buy a striker? I suppose that should be if we buy a striker, but I think we're going to in the summer from what we hear. He's definitely in the forward line for me, Lee. There's none of this number 8 midfield stuff from Havertz, in my opinion. I know you quite liked him there as well. I didn't, and I think it's been proven that he's a player that can cause havoc up top, not in the midfield. He can put himself about in midfield, but he weren't doing what he's doing now in the midfield. Let me tell you that now. What he's doing right now in the 9, or whatever you want to call it, false 9, number 9, link-up player, interchanger, I don't care what you call it. I'm liking it, and I'd keep him there, man. What about you, Lee?
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't really know where his long-term future. I think he's going to be one of those players that's going to play in different positions, different roles. I think that's the good thing about it. He can play midfield, can play up front, but the last few games up front, he's been fantastic. He's just given us something different, you know what I mean? He really has. If he can start finishing like he is, I think that it'd be even better. But these confidence levels must be sky high at the moment. The touch for the Ben White goal, by the way, and that goes down as an assist. Dan, I don't know if you like that or not.
Listen, I want him to win it. That's the bet I got on. For those that don't know, I got a bet with Tom Canton. He thinks Havertz will get more GA than Maddison, and I've gone for Maddison. Obviously, I want Havertz, but it's getting close now, Lee. It's really close. Maddison's had about 6 months off, which has helped. But if I'm honest, it's really close now. I think Maddison's winning by 1 or 2. So yeah, man, it's gonna be close, and it's only league, by the way, because otherwise Havertz will win it, obviously, because he's got more competition to play in. But yeah, but yeah, man, he's doing well at the moment, Lee.
Just playing really, really well, looking very, very good. So much so that we was coming home, and if Martinelli isn't fit for Saturday, you're saying, well, play Jesus out wide left. You know what I mean? And it's like Jesus, who was fantastic the last game out that he started against Nottingham Forest. I don't forget things like that. He was brilliant that night. If he didn't play that game, we wouldn't have won that game. So, but you're not crying out for him to come back into the team. Thomas Partey had like 20 minutes. It's very, very rusty. But Vieira coming back, like all of a sudden the bench is looking a lot stronger. And I've got to say it was a fantastic night. And I come out of that ground wishing my life away, Dan, because I can't wait for Saturday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. I want more. I want more of it. There was a time I used to dread the weekends because you think, oh, they could mess it up and do whatever mess your weekend up or whatever like that. But now I can't wait to Saturday 5:30. Can't wait for it. You know what I mean? And that's what the team's done to me at the moment.
100%, bro. 100%. And that is the same as me. I absolutely love watching football at the moment. Watching Arsenal, sorry, should I say. I've just checked, by the way, and they're actually equal. So Maddison's got 3 goals, 7 assists, and Havertz has got 7 goals, 3 assists. So they've actually got 10 each at the moment.
Yeah. Right,
So it's tight, man. Really tight. So big up to Tom as well, by the way, who made that bet right at the start and stuck by it because he could have changed his mind after about 5 games because it weren't looking good for Havertz at the start. Let me just star one more that I've just seen and then we'll go to the next question. Let's get these done quick fire, judges. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. So,
yeah.
Ash, big up, my guy. Injuries on their way back. Things looking really up. Have you heard anything, rumours on Urian Timber and when he might be in the squad? Now, I don't know about yourself, Lee, but I've heard that things are looking pretty good for him in terms of fitness on the pitch. He's now doing full training sessions with the ball, looking good. And I imagine that we'll probably see him towards the end of March. Have you heard anything differently, Lee?
No, I haven't heard nothing different, and I'm thinking that you won't probably get him till about April time anyway. Like, after the international break, he'll probably have a couple of games in between then. Under 23 games or something. Probably he's had a few there. But my thing is, don't expect too much for him coming back, because look at Thomas Partey. He's been out for roughly about the same time, and look how rusty he looked. So,
he got into it slowly but surely, but that first 10 minutes, he couldn't pass the ball, and it was awful, wasn't it?
and it's hard for a defender to bring a defender on, like, you know what I mean? I know they brought Cedric on. You're going to have to hope that middle of after when you look at our fixtures in April, if you're going to go into that after Man City game, Luton at home, which is not going to be easy. I think Brighton away, Aston Villa, Tottenham. You know what I mean? I don't know where he's going to get a game. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're winning one of them, let's hope it is at the Tottenham Stadium. He comes on when we're 5-0 up. That'd be nice, but I don't see it. So I don't know when he's actually going to be playing games. But they will be playing games behind closed doors and all that. I'm pretty sure Thomas Partey will be. Thomas Partey may even go on international duty just to get some minutes under his belt. I don't know, but for me, I'm gonna say like do you know what? I don't see him starting a game for Arsenal this season. Now I'll put that out there now.
Play, man. This one's a really interesting one from Adam. Says, if Harry Kane's available in the summer, are you taking him? Can't believe he's gone to Bayern Munich and they look like they're not going to win anything. It's absolutely crazy. They're clinging on to that Champions League. They've lost the league. They're out of the German Cup. Would I take Harry Kane in the summer? Yeah, because he's a world-class centre forward. Would he come to Arsenal? No. Are we going to afford to pay that much money for him? Probably. Maybe we would, actually. If we're looking at
he's 31, he'd be 31 when he's 31 when he comes back.
That's just not going to happen. So we'll move on from that one. This one comes in from Christopher Ward. Says, Lee, do we need to bring in a backstop for Ramsdale this weekend?
That's a bit harsh.
People are worried about
this. Looking forward to the game. I'm gonna go and buy the goalkeeping top on Saturday morning. Put it on like and
Ramsdale the back.
Cheer on Ramsdale's last ever game for the Arsenal, probably certainly at the Emirates. I can't see him playing again, and wherever he goes, I wish him well. But listen, Ray has done very, very well in the last few games. You know, I mean, does help when you've got the backing of the manager, but has done really, really well for us. So I am worried that Ramsdale hasn't played for a while. Could be a bit of a problem, but let's just hope he has a good game and a clean sheet to see off the time at the Emirates.
Absolutely. Right, I'll do a question, then you do a question because there's loads coming in. So I'll take this one. If we had the choice of one win out of 2 games, who are you picking? Porto at home or Man City away? Porto at home because we're then in the Champions League. If you have to lose to City away, fair play, but you're still in with a shout at the league. If you go out to Porto, done, out. So you have to stay in that competition, man. So that one's easy for me. Lee, this one comes in from Adam. You can take this one. Are Saliba and Gabriel the best partnership in Europe?
I don't really watch too much European football, but they're the best partnership in the Premier League, along with Canate and Van Dijk. But I back my boys.
Fair play, man. I'm with you there. And I would actually go as far to say, if they aren't, then who is? I'd love someone to tell me who they think is the European best partnership. Adam has said also, if we beat Brentford and Liverpool and City draw, if we beat Brentford and Liverpool, if we beat Brentford and then Liverpool and City draw, we're top. City games on the 31st. Is that our biggest game for 10 years? Yeah, probably. Probably. I mean, we've had big games of last year that were the biggest game of the decade, but yeah, I think this is because if it actually allows that scenario to happen, then yeah, I would say that it was the biggest game of the decade, Adam. So fair play to you there. This one comes in from Mr. Mechanic Abdul. Big up, bro. Says, I'll let you have this one, Lee. Says, big up, Lee and Dan. I think Gabriel Jesus should be sold in the summer. His indecision is shocking. Misses too much. I'm afraid bringing him back would affect our form. Does he get back into this side right now, Lee? I'm not sure he does.
Not at this moment in time, no. But like, you know, fans have short memories, don't they? Like, because, you know, as I said, against Nottingham Forest is outstanding, and he's been brilliant for us for most of it. Like, you know, I'll go back to the game against Seville. If he doesn't play in that game against Seville, we don't win that game. You know, people forget about that. Like, you know, don't go on what he done on Monday night. It's his first game back for a few weeks. You know what I mean? First game back 4 or 5 games. The game's a different sort of game to whatever. Like, you know, so listen, as I say, you know, if Martinelli needs to be rested. Listen, if I'm going to be really honest with you now. Even if Martinelli's fit, I'd leave him out on Saturday, and I'd go with either Trossard or Jesus for that game, because I think Porto, you know, gives him an extra couple of days to get fitter.
I actually agree with that.
And if Jesus is fit and ready to go, then yeah, go for it. Like, you know what I mean? But listen, no, I don't think he should be sold.
Okay, fair play. This one comes in from Adam. I'll take this one. Paul Tierney is on VAR. Discuss. Yeah, that was a nice present, weren't it? He gets banned for the weekend and then puts on our VAR. Very, very nice thing to have happen. I'm not going to sit there and blame that, though. We need to go and beat Brentford. We do not need this man to make a decision for us to win a game. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want to have that as an excuse. We win by a few goals. We won't have to worry about Paul Tierney.
No, but he shouldn't be there, though. In fact, he shouldn't be there.
That's without question. I mean, that's a joke. But, yeah I mean, absolute craziness for me, but that's the way it is. You can have this one, bruv. Says, given what Havertz is doing now in the 9 role, would our money be better spent in the summer on an Odegaard-type player? To drop off to Odegaard, gets injured, it's massive. What are you saying there?
Well, whoever you buy is going to be a drop-off from Odegaard. You ain't going to get someone as good as Odegaard looking to play backup. I think, you know, we just have to deal with that, like, you know. Listen, I think that with Havertz, you know, you can still buy another striker or a wide player that can play striker and all that, like, you know. That's what you're going into competitions, not, you know, to win them. That's what we've got to be looking to do next season, not just to make up the numbers. I'm looking like, if Arsenal are going to go in the transfer market this season, they're going to have to buy players that are better than what we've got. That's my opinion. Not backups, better. You know what I mean? So, and that's where we're looking at, like. And I'm going to be really honest with you. Where you're going to find someone better than Odegaard, when you're going to find someone better than the wide players, it's difficult. And if Havertz continues to keep doing what he's doing, you know, then who knows? You know, at the end of it, I have to say, is there players that can do what Havertz is doing at the moment? If you go and spend 100, 150 million, like, you know, he's banging in goals, he's creating goals. I don't know who they're going to go for next season. I really don't, Dan. Like, it's up to the management.
I'm not worried about that yet. For me, we've got enough to worry about at the moment. This one comes in from Jay. If I get a chance to get down to the Arsenal again, can we have a drink together, guys, in the Tottenham? 100%, my bro. Absolutely, you can.
Of course, if you're buying Jay, that'd be even better, mate.
Jay, you're all right, Jay, because Lee only has half pint, so it won't cost you that much. You know what I mean? But yeah, drop us a DM, mate, on Twitter, and we'll sort that out, bro. 100%, man. I love these two from Travarelli, which says it's not flip-flopping. You're supposed to change your opinion with new information. That is 100%. So spot on. Absolutely love that.
If anybody calls me a flip-flop, I don't care, because do you know what? In the summer, I love me flip-flops. There you go.
So do I, man. This one comes in from Paul. If Arteta wins the Champions League, a Premier League, and 2 FA Cups, will you two be satisfied? Yeah. Is that a
More
trick
than
question?
More than satisfied.
I mean, that is unbelievable if he does that.
Well,
That's
if
going
he
to put
wins
him
the
up
league,
there, one of the best managers we've had in terms of
well,
what he's won. He's won everything. So, of
if
course,
he
we
wins
will.
if he
I
wins the
think he's having a
Champions
dig
League, he
there,
goes down in
saying
history
we're not
again.
satisfied. But, mate, we'd be satisfied with that. Of course we will. Jesus.
Listen, if he wins the Champions League, he goes down in history, mate.
Well, exactly.
That's
Absolutely.
it. You know what I mean? Like that team becomes as if Arsenal were to win the Champions League this year, this team will be thought of as much as the Invincibles, whether you like it or not. Because it'll be the first team, the first set of
I see
players.
what you mean. I still put the Invincibles ahead of them, but I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. Cello says, should we sell Smith-Rowe? Yeah, I love the kid, but what is going on with him? I mean, when Fabio Vieira's coming on ahead of you now, who hasn't played for God knows how long, it's time to get out. It's time to go, unfortunately. Sharp as you like against Newcastle on the Saturday night. Not seen him again since. It's time to go. And I hope he does well. I hope he stays fit, and I hope he has a good career.
If I'm Smith-Rowe, I've not got the ump with the Vieira one going on there. I'll tell you what, if I was Nelson, I'd have the ump. Because he's been covering Saka, and then you get a chance to play for 45.
Well, he's another one's got to go, isn't he? They've got to go save their careers. These lads.
That was a very, very. Listen, I know you got to get Vieira minutes. I get that, but that was harsh. Maybe he's saying, look, Nelson have been more vital, and Smith-Rowe against Brentford and Porto because they're fit and these two are not, so it was more of a chance there. I don't know. The manager will have to talk to him about that, but I'd imagine all three, Eddie as well, would be very distraught about what happened in that game. But let Cedric come on there. You can't put Vieira or Smith-Rowe at right back and all that. It's a difficult one. You know what I mean? But the only reason, if I was a manager, the reason I would turn around and say, look, I know I've got to get them fit as well. That was the opportunity. You're fit. You're more important to me for Saturday. I'd imagine if Saka comes off on Saturday, I would imagine that if it would be Nelson coming on for him. If it's not, then the writing's on the wall. Same for Smith-Rowe. If anything happens to Odegaard, then Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe can play all three positions. By the way, he can play all alongside and all that as well. So it's very, very difficult at the moment for them. I get that.
Yeah, man, 100%. Listen, this next one comes in from Big Dog. Says, here's a general question. Could a team ever win the Premier League playing 4-4-2 again? Discuss. That is a quality question. What a question. My favourite formation still, I must say.
Quality question.
And I'm going to say, yes, they could. I honestly think they could, because I don't know that this extra man in midfield that's always going to dominate the game. I think there's been opportunities to see that sometimes that ain't the case. I love 4-4-2. I think what would have to happen is you would have to have your midfield as a Vieira Keane or Vieira Yaya Toure type player. I don't think you could have like a Vieira Fabregas in there again now. I think that would then allow someone to dominate you. So I think if you wanted to go 4-4-2, you'd have to do a Vieira Gilberto and then have an Henry Bergkamp partnership. So that Bergkamp number 10 just dropping off the striker becomes your kind of creative midfielder. So I don't know if it ever will be 4-4-2 now. I think it'll always be a little bit dropping off. Do you know what I'm saying, Lee?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're looking at it, then you're going 4-4-1-1, aren't you?
Exactly that.
You know what I mean? Where it's a 4-4-2-2, 4-4-2. It's great. It is a great system. You know what I mean? I played a lot of football at the times. You can play as a winger or as a midfield player in a 4-4-2 with 2 and out tries. I honestly don't think it can be done. If I'll be honest,
last team to win the league was Leicester, as Cello says here, 4-4-2. They played it with Vardy and what was his name up front?
Oh. Yeah, but he did drop into the hole a little bit, you know what I mean?
That was his name.
I know what you're saying, I'm talking you're going back to Arsenal's 4-4-2, Ian Wright, Alan Smith, Ian Wright,
Kevin Henry Bergkamp.
When Bergkamp come into the game changed when he come in there. The Cantonars done that you know, I mean, probably was the first one that dropped into that hole and made it happen. But the extra man in midfield now is a big thing. It is a big thing. You know, possession-based football. Look, listen, I loved 4-4-2. Proper old.
So did I, mate. Yeah, that's what I grew up on. You know?
I think it's changed now. Like, I think football's unfortunately changed.
100%, mate. I'm with you. Chris says, who's better on the left, Trossard or Jesus? Says, I prefer Jesus on the right, if I'm honest. What do you think about that one, Lee?
Well, listen, I haven't really seen too much of Jesus on the left. Trossard's done the business out there at the moment. Like, you know, I'm all for this of like, how can you say it? Players playing different players, but positions. But I don't think they've got to be like shoehorned in there for unnecessary at this moment in time. For me, Jesus is going to have to be patient. Listen, there's a decision to be made if Martinelli comes out of there again. I'm going to say this now: if it's a massive game on Saturday and Trossard's been fit and available week in, week out over the last 4 or 5 weeks, if he was to be left out for Jesus, it would be very, very harsh. It could be that, you know, he could like say to himself, well, I'll leave Saka and Martinelli out and play Jesus on one side, Trossard on the other. Now, you know, it's still taking, I don't think, you know, like it's taking Brentford lightly or not. I don't know. I really don't know. I wouldn't want to make too many changes thinking, oh, we're thinking about Porto, because for me, the biggest game is on Saturday. Then as soon as the game's finished Saturday, then it comes to Tuesday. But listen, we've got options there now, Dan. You know what I mean? Like for 2 or 3 weeks, we've had Trossard and that was it. Now we've got Jesus back in there. But I've got no real rush to bring Jesus back into this team at the moment. One I don't like when everybody keeps saying you've got to manage it. He's managed it. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know, that don't sound good. If he's fit, he's fit. I don't think they're going to manage him. He was fit to come on Monday, and that means if you're fit and playing in the Premier League, you're fit. So, but for me, I would play Jesus if I'd be really honest, but that's very, very hard on Trossard.
Interesting one. Let's take the last 3 questions here because they're 3 really good questions. This one from Jay. Lads, score predictions for both Super Sunday games. I'll go first. I think it will be Aston Villa 2, Spurs 2. And I think it will be Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2. What are you saying, Lee?
I'm going to go Villa to nick it 2-1. And I think 1-1 City, Liverpool.
Both draws. Do you know what?
No. I think Villa and nick
it. Sorry. You said you did just say sorry. It's me said a draw. Yeah, no, interesting, man. Okay, last couple of questions. This one comes from Wizard of Oz. Says, I'm enjoying everything about Arsenal at the moment. If we don't win the league or the Champions League, do you still think that Arteta deserves more time? I can't wait until match day. I lost that for a while. Great pod. I'll let you go first, Lee, and then I'll have my say on this one.
Listen, I don't know about more time. Yeah, I do think that he does, because I don't think we're far off it at the moment. We're playing some super stuff. I do get that people say, can he get us over the line? I still think that, listen, that's why I think this game against Porto is so important, because if we were to lose that, people have got a real case about the Champions League then, because of what's happened in the Europa League. We need to, as a confidence booster for the manager and everything like that, we need to beat Porto. If we was to go out to Porto and they just missed out on the league, I do think that, you know, he certainly deserves more time, but there will be a lot more doubters. Not of him as a manager. Can he get us over the line? There's a difference between, is he good enough to be a manager for Arsenal, or is he the one that's going to get us over the line? That's a different debate.
Listen, I'm with you. Let me get this straight. He's staying, whatever. Arteta is going nowhere. That's what I'll say first. My only concern will be, can he get us across the line? And I think I've got to have that concern until he does it. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
If we go out to Porto, we come third and finish 9-10 points off the title, I think a lot of people will start to question what's going on. If we take them both to the wire and miss out, I'm happy to give Arteta time. Again, like not another 5-10 years, but I'm happy to give him to stay here, right? That's where I'm at. It really is that simple. I don't think it's pretty much black and white. Prove to me that you can win it. And if you can't, have a good reason as to why you can't. That's literally it. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it, man. So yeah, enough said on that. Big up to Wizard of Oz. I love this question. We'll end on a positive, shall we? Richard says, if we were to win the league and we could do it at either Spurs ground or Man United's ground, where do you want to win the title?
Listen, I'd love to win it at Tottenham's ground, but that's too early. It's not going to be 3 games in.
Agreed.
But to win it 3 times at Tottenham would be really rubbing it in, wouldn't it? But that's not going to happen this year. Could it happen at Man United? I don't think so, neither. I think it's going to go to the last game if it does, because I can't see Liverpool and City dropping many points that we'd be home and dry with 2 games to go. Look, don't get me wrong, I'd love it. I'm going to say Spurs, of course.
Listen, now, if I could have a choice, it would be Spurs. Do the hat-trick at their ground. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? But I will say it's got as much fun in it being Old Trafford as well. I must say that. I didn't exactly... God, it's a shame it's at Old Trafford, not Spurs again. It was beautiful. Do you know what I mean? 2002. Never forget it. It was incredible. And if we could do it again, unbelievable. But I am with Lee. I think that it might have to be going down to the last game. And we have got Everton at home last game. And we've done well there when we've won leagues in 2002 and 98 there against Everton at home. That's all I'll say.
It's very sort of running into this sort of season. There's a lot of comparisons. Remember, like went to Old Trafford in March in 98 and got the result there. Could do that at Man City and finish at Everton, like, you know. So we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, we will, man. 100%. Don says Saeed will go mad if we win it at Old Trafford. He will, and I'll be there for it. Do you know what, though? I will say this about Saeed, and big up to Saeed. Make sure you go follow Saeed TV if you're not already. He said to me on my channel, he's like, I want you to win the league. He's like, I can't stand Liverpool and City. Arsenal have got to win this league. And the same. There's a lot of like Man United fans want us to win the league. Terry does. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they all want Arsenal to win the league. Man United want Arsenal to win the league. That's mad, isn't it? I never thought I'd ever hear it. But they're in the right
dilemma. It's their 3 worst nightmares, isn't it, really?
It is, mate. It's not good for them, is it, at the moment? Let's be real. Listen, we're going to end it there, people. Do me a favour and like this video. How many likes we got, actually? There's 500 people in here. So what we're doing here is only 127. Come on, people. I thought you loved us more than that. Let's get that up to 250 at least, please. Only ask for half. Let's make sure we do that. Let's end this poll as well. At the moment, it's ended 60-40 in Man City's favour. So 60% of the voters want Man City to beat Liverpool this weekend, which is very, very interesting. I thought it'd be a little bit closer than that, but 60% of you have said that as well. Make sure you go follow the Football's 12th Man, which is my channel as well. Get us up to 20k, which is the next target. So please make sure you go join us over there. I'll be on later, literally around about an hour's time, doing a bit of a roundup, as I always do before bedtime. So come join us over there. And yeah, Lee, I'll let you see us out, mate.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the week. And don't forget, we're on tomorrow with hopefully the Spurs boys, but they are sort of a little bit shy of us at the moment. So we're waiting to see, like, you know, but hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, enjoy the rest of the week and come on, you Gunners.
See you next time.